Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, firstly, welcome to Emory. We're really excited to have you here tonight and to talk about some of your questions. So I'm Natalie, if you saw me from the last panel. Do you guys might go through and say your name, where you're from, and your year? Welcome to Emory. We're really excited to... Do you want to go first?
Right. Yeah. So my name is Alexa. I am a first year. As you can see on my cute little name tag, I'm from Georgia, like 40 minutes away from here. And some of the things that I'm involved in are I'm on the executive board of the First Generation Low Income Partnership here at Emory. I am a digital ambassador. And then I'm also a tour guide. I'm going to be in first year residence life. So if you admit, like, you might have me. And then I also have a work study position in the marketing communications department at the business school.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Watkins. I'm a senior at Emory studying political science and music. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers. Let me see, what am I involved in? I'm a representative in SGA. I'm an RA with Natalie over here in Harris Hall. It's a great hall. I'll recommend you all live there. Sophomore year. I play in the jazz band. I play drums in the jazz band. And I'm part of the Questbridge Scholars Network.
Hey guys, I'm Shruti Shekhar. I'm from Bangalore, India. So I'm an international student here, and I'm going down the pre-business track for now. And just like Alexa, I'm going to be a sophomore advisor next year. I'm currently a part of the club golf team, and I'm a communication chair for the club golf team. I'm on the executive board for the University Center Board. I work at the Telefund, and I'm also a lobby host.
So as you guys can see, our students are really involved in a lot of different things. So feel free to ask any questions live. So I'll start with a question that was previously asked, but feel free to ask a question in the live chat at any point. So my first question for you all is, what is the chance that you get the residence hall that you select?
Well, so as an incoming first year, you are sent a few surveys. One is for your roommate and the other one is for your housing selection. And so for your housing, it's going to be a lot of different questions based off of which you most agree with, because something really cool about Emory, we have living learning communities. So each residence hall has a different theme. For example, right now I'm living in one that deals with social innovation. So it changes based off of your answers. So it's based off of your answers that you are put into a different residence hall. So and because of those different residence halls have different floor plans, for example, some of them don't have suites. So if you do pair up most with, for example, one that is about learning and fusion liberal arts, like those don't have any suites. So if you do, you will have a double. So you might not get your preferred suite, but it is based off of your preferences in whether you agree with different statements or not.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, all of the housing options are incredible, and you'll fill out a long survey, and you'll love whatever residence hall you get into. So we have one question come in. What's one thing you wish was more accessible to on campus, or what's something you wish you had brought with you to campus?
I wish I would have initially brought a bike.
That's a good
one. I ended up buying one my sophomore year, but a bike can be a great way to, I think, get around campus, especially if classes that are kind of far from each other. It can also be a pretty cool way to explore Atlanta. That's I've biked all around the city safely. You have to be careful, but I've biked around the city over the past 3 years, and it gives you an interesting perspective because you end up taking a lot of back roads, and it's a good way to, I think, get off campus and explore the city.
What about you two? Anything you wish you would have brought?
I wish I got my golf clubs here because, yeah, that was a pain to go and pick the right size and all that. But I'm an international student, so that was hard. But nonetheless, yeah, just like him, I got to explore a lot of options. And I think I have the best set now, so pretty happy.
just to add on to David's point about the bike, if you don't have a bike, I personally think that all of the classes are pretty close to each other. So sometimes you might have 10 minutes in between classes, sometimes 15. And I've never had a problem with being late to class or anything because they're too far away. And we also have a shuttle system that runs around campus that will get you anywhere you need to go really quickly. But having a bike is a really fun thing if you want to do that. So we have another question. What do you guys do on the weekends? Do freshmen go into Atlanta a lot or mostly just stay on campus?
Well, first years aren't really allowed to have cars. So if you do go, you would have to like either Uber there or take public transportation. But a lot of my friends do go out on the weekend with their friends, you know, exploring Atlanta, going to different cafes or just to the park. So it is like very convenient that Atlanta is kind of like really close, but yet still far away where you can like feel like they're separate entities. So there is that, but there is like plenty enough things to do on campus to stay. I don't go out as much because there are different club meetings, or if you want to catch up with homework or you just want to just chill out and like watch Netflix in your bed all day, like either way, there are like a lot of things that you can do based off of your preferences.
What about you, Shruti? Have you felt like you've been able to get out of campus?
So I love shopping. So I've been to like 3 malls, and every second week you'll see me at a mall. And I think it was very convenient for me. Like the first few weeks was a pain in finding, Ubers and stuff like that. But soon I started using the Emory shuttle, and I think it's really efficient. So you have one about every 20 minutes, which goes to the closest mall called Lenox. So yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun. So.
That's awesome. So what are the multicultural events like, and do they usually have a large turnout?
I would say yes, they have a huge turnout. So I'm a part of the Indian Cultural Exchange. And so we practically have 2 clubs here at Emory for Indians and Hindus. So we have Hindu Student Association as well as the Indian Cultural Exchange. And they host a lot of programs, a lot of festivals. So I still feel connected to my culture, although like I'm miles away. I still celebrate a lot of festivals like Diwali, and we recently had a party, a Bollywood party. So that way I feel like the cultural diversity here at Emory also helps all of us understand different countries, different cultures, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
What about you two?
Well, so one of my identities is that I am a Latina. I'm Hispanic. So we do have a Latin student organization that we have on campus, and a few of their events are a lot of type of dances. So we recently had Noche de Máscaras, and last semester we had Noche de Galas. So it's kind of a place where a lot of different Hispanic students, or even students who don't identify as Hispanic, because they are open to the public, you go and you dance to music that is very popular in a lot of Latin American countries, and you dance, salsa, merengue, bachata, whatever you want. I almost started speaking Spanish there, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it is open to the public, and they do have a lot of food. Like also recently, we are in the midst of Dooley's Week, and yesterday during Wonderful Wednesdays, one of our the LSO organization, which is a Latin student organization, partnered up with Salsa Club, and for kind of like for like a solid 4 hours, students could just walk up and start like taking salsa lessons and just dancing while eating chips and salsa. So yeah,
that's awesome. So the next question is, what did you do the summer after your senior year, before your first year at Emory?
So I spent a lot of time with family, and but I also went on vacation. So I went to Greece. So it was like a nice time out there with family and friends. But I spent a huge portion of my time just back home with family because I knew like I'm going to be missing that for the next 1 year. So that's what I did.
I actually worked over the summer, so I knew that I would have to like start keeping up with tuition payments. So I went and got like one of those paid internship types of things with a family law firm in my county. So for the whole summer, it was really fantastic. Those people there are really, really fantastic. I still keep in touch with them. And it's kind of a good opportunity for, you know, in the subsequent summers, if you have a really good relationship and you can just keep coming back and helping them even during breaks. So that's what I did.
And I did a mix of both. My brothers and I, we cut, or we had kind of a small like landscaping business. We cut our neighbor's grass and did a bunch of stuff just to save up for school. And then I went on a trip, a short 2-week trip to Italy. And, you know, but I really would recommend try to enjoy that last summer before you get to college, before you have to think about, you know, just everything that college entails. So enjoy it, spend time with family, and just, yeah, have a blast.
So the next question is, are the classes at Emory intense?
It definitely depends on the majors that you are choosing. Some of them are less work intensive than others, but it also has to do with how you like learning as a person. And, you know, like some people are really, really like math oriented and logic oriented, and other people can read for hours and hours. So mostly like across the board, like classes are very rigorous, but if you find something that you're really good at and you major in that, it's not going to be as intense.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you end up discovering in college is how, you know, you learn how you learn best, if that makes any sense. And so something that I've learned is that I really enjoy seminars. You know, 3-hour classes where you come and you discuss and, you know, you even debate a little bit, you know, about, you know, readings that you had read prior to the class. And so I think when you know, most people think of, oh, a 3-hour class, that, you know, that sounds really intense. But for me, that's a way that I've really enjoyed learning. And so it really depends on, you know, how you learn and how you structure your academic experience.
The next question is, what do you usually do after school? So I'm assuming you mean like, what do you do when your classes are over for the day?
For me, I work at the telephone. So I think it's an amazing way to keep in touch with alumni, hear more about Emory, hear about their experience, and also update them about the happenings at Emory. And I'm pretty much busy with that. If not that, you have a lot of assignments and a lot of club meetings. But yeah, I feel like it's a good balance of everything. I mean, a couple of days I have time out for myself, so I go and play golf or maybe just hang around my room and watch Netflix. So yeah, that's
Yeah. You know, I just want to say that's one of my favorite probably aspects about college is that, you know, it's not like high school where you have, you know, these, you know, class from like 7 a.m. to, you know, 2 p.m. But, you know, some days you'll maybe have like 1 or 2 classes. And after that, you can really structure it how you want to structure it. And so you have a lot of freedom there, which is great.
So I'm going to table one of the questions that says, why did you choose Emory? Because I like to save that one for last. But the next question is, what is the laundry room etiquette like in the residence halls? What's the best way and most polite way to manage getting laundry done with other residents? Does anyone have any funny laundry experiences or pretty good ones?
Well, none too terribly. Like, you actually have to really kind of plan out when you do it. So, like, one time, I guess this is like my most funny one. They're not really that funny. So I had a big load of laundry and I was just so lazy, but I was like, you know what, let me do it. It was Friday at 3 in the morning. And I was like, okay, let me do my laundry. Cause in my mind, everyone's like either sleeping or at a party. So I'm just like, I can do my laundry. It's going to be empty. I walk into the laundry room. Like, not a single machine was open. And I was like, it's 3 in the morning. What are people doing? So you really have to like choose like when would be the most time. Like now I just do it like Tuesday in the morning because like at 9 in the morning because that's like it's really empty then. But also if you are worried about like no machines open because people like left their clothes, a lot of residence halls, I'm pretty sure all of them have Facebook wall thing. So if you just like post something on there like, hey, to everyone who like has clothes in their laundry, like if you could pick that up, that would be great. So people will see that and they're like, I have clothes in the laundry. So they'll walk down there. So that's how you do it.
And laundry is free, which is great.
Yeah.
At least in my freshman year, or my first year, you had to pay, I think it was $1.25 to wash, and like $1.50 to dry. And that was kind of rough, just because, every time you did laundry, you had to make sure you had money on your card. And so, it's nice to be able to know that you can, wash your clothes whenever you need to and not worry about paying $1.
That was a great question. The next question is, what are the more popular clubs and organizations on campus?
I'm pretty sure one of the biggest organizations on campus is Volunteer Emory, just because a lot of the students here are very like altruistic and philanthropic. So, and they have a lot of different opportunities. Like they have like recurring weekly trips where they're like every single like Saturday morning, they'll go to kind of like, there's probably one for like a pet shelter or stuff like that. So that's one of like the really big ones.
I would say that there are a lot of organizations that have a lot of general body members. So a lot of students who will go to their monthly meetings and stay informed on what's going on. But there are so many different organizations here, and you can definitely find one that fits whatever interest or passion that you have. So the next question is, any advice on time management? How do you balance studying, social life, and sleep?
I plan my day ahead. So I have a fixed routine. I finish my first class and then I Skype my parents for about at least 30 minutes every day. Otherwise, they're going to be upset. And then
that's impressive.
I go to my second class and then I have lunch and I spend like at least an hour with my friends because that's the only time like all of us are free. And followed by that, I have another class and then I finish some homework. I head to the library, study for a bit. Go to the telefund, and then I'm back to my room. Yeah, that's my home now. And yeah, that's about it. It's more about, I feel like it's planning. It's not too hard. Honestly, I felt like I was a part of too many clubs at the beginning of the semester, but now through my second semester, I feel like I'm able to manage everything. And it's how you manage your time. It's not that people are going to force you to know anything right here. You can join as many clubs as you want, because I know a lot of friends will be able to manage their time. So all they do is just study and maybe volunteer once in a week. But it all depends on you as a person. And I feel like planning is the most essential part. So.
Yeah. I think you definitely learn how to utilize your calendar. If you didn't use that in high school, you're gonna use it in college. And something in addition to having a calendar, something that works well for me is just like planning out my day by hour the night before, because that way I can really segment, what I'm doing and make sure I do what's most important.
Great question. So the next question is, how did you pick a roommate for your freshman year? And I can take this one. So about 60% of our students, I believe, come in having chosen a roommate without taking a random roommate. So if you have someone in mind and you two match up, then that is how that works. But if you want to, you can have a random roommate, but it's not actually that random, because you take a really lengthy survey about your different living habits, your different living preferences, and what you're interested in. And housing will pair you with a roommate who they think you will get along really well with based on all of that information. So I ended up meeting a student at Admitted Students Day, which I just want to pitch for a little bit. It's really fun if you have the opportunity to come to one of our Admitted Students Days. So I met my roommate there actually, but I have a lot of friends who ended up doing random roommate assignment, and they really got along with their roommates very well. Do you guys have any stories about your freshman year roommates?
I know because of like the Facebook groups are really popular, and a lot of times like GroupMe, like huge chats are really popular, like derived from the Facebook GroupMe. Like everyone will like start and like join one. And so that's how I met my roommate. We had one that was just full of the girls who were who like committed into Emory class of 2020. And so I just kind of put in the GroupMe like, oh, I still need a roommate. And then like a few hours later, someone texted me and she was amazing and we're roommates now.
Great question. So the next question is, what is the current political climate like on campus?
Well, I think it's really like there is a thing like a lot of college students are very passionate because I mean you are just like feeling like you can start doing things, but a lot of times people just get caught up with their lives. So there are a lot of initiatives, but sometimes it does get like kind of lost in the translation because a lot of students are really busy like with studying, and I do consider myself like very politically opinionated and very politically active, and a lot of times what happens on campus is more like learning opportunities. But I mean also a lot of different clubs sponsor a lot of politicians to come here to talk about the bills that they want to introduce into the legislature. So in college, it's like a lot of learning opportunities rather than like, let's all go protest, although sometimes we have that too.
Yeah, I do think Emory students are very politically engaged. And that's something I've really enjoyed coming to college. I've definitely been challenged and have really had the opportunity to, grow my critical thinking and really think about, political issues more. And so I think that, you definitely be offered some really good opportunities to, I guess, challenge yourself and challenge other people and like Alexa said, learn more.
Yeah, actually, I just came from one of those like educational opportunities. It was called the State of Orange, the State of Policing and Criminalization in America right now, and like the policies that come with like kind of our prison system right now. And so it was hosted by the sociology department as well as like a lot of different departments. And so it's a lot of learning opportunities. Like when you come to college, you should like question what you believe in, and Emory definitely like has that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything they said. I just want to add on that I think Emory has a really respectful political community. Everyone, while they might have different opinions, is very respectful of each other, which I think is really important and pretty unique to Emory. The next question is, what are the study abroad / travel options and how economical are they?
Well, as a tour guide, I feel like I know this. So study abroad, there are actually over 120 programs in study abroad in over 40 countries. If you feel like one of those programs is not the right fit for you, you can apply. You can choose a program from like a university you actually want to go to, and then you can go through a whole process with the study abroad office to have that approved and to have those credits transfer over to Emory. And so if you do decide to study abroad during your fall or spring semester, your financial aid will transfer through. It won't transfer through if you do it during the summer, but there are a lot of potential scholarships that you could have. So for example, one scholarship that is available is if you've never been outside of the country, they provide a scholarship for you so you can study abroad. Or if you go to a country that is not as kind of stereotypically associated with studying abroad, like if you want to go to like Central America or something like that, there are also scholarships for that too.
So the next question is, in terms of supplies, did you pack them when you were at home or did you wait until you get to Emory? I would say that I recommend maybe waiting to get them here at Emory just because we have a lot of resources really close by. We have a Target, a Walmart, so I think that might just be an easier option, but you can do whatever works best for you. The next question is, do you have a favorite lesser known or underground spot on campus? That's a great question. I've never heard that one before. I feel like David probably has a really good one. He's always walking around.
A favorite spot on campus. I think it really depends. I mean, lesser known though. That's
Yeah.
See, I guess if I say it, it wouldn't be lesser known, right?
Do you guys know like the little trails that go behind like Woodruff Library, and there are some that go behind the Carlos Museum?
Yeah.
There are a lot of like hidden trails that some people don't know about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So it's definitely hidden.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
Oh.
that.
We went there for one of my classes, for my environmental science classes.
So you learn something new every
Yeah.
day. I did not know that there was a tunnel there. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite class right now and why? So maybe everyone could go through and say their favorite class right now and then why you like it so much.
My favorite class is religion is business. So I'm not a religion major or minor. I just happen to take it for the fun of it, but I love the class. It gave me a very good perspective about something that you would not really think about, like when you look at religion or even when you look at business. And the professor is really engaging. He makes sure everybody gets a chance to talk, voice their opinions. And yeah, that by far is the best class. And if you guys have a chance, I really recommend you take it, no matter what major you're going to be in the future.
I have to say, a class I took last semester called Cities, Power, and Cinema with Professor Michael Owens. It was my favorite class because, well, like I said before, it was a seminar, and I love seminars. And also, I'm a city guy, and so we talked about a lot of, the pros, cons, and issues of cities and where that intersects with, government and like political power. And so I just thought it was the best class that I've ever taken. I thought it was super interesting, and I loved doing the readings, and I loved just coming to class and talking about all these different topics.
So I think my favorite class right now that I'm taking this semester is sociology. It's it's in the sociology department, specifically race and ethnic relations. So I'm just like, I love learning like humanities, and I'm really passionate about like social equality, equity. So it's just like really fantastic seeing like all of the different intersectionalities and like all of like the systems of oppression that and like the history behind them. Although last semester it was computer science. I don't think I mentioned this, but I'm a statistics and interdisciplinary studies major. Now you know.
So the next question is, how do you join clubs or groups on campus? Is there a sign-up fair or event to explore the different options?
Yes, there's definitely an activities fair. So when you come in as a freshman, I think a month into your time here, you're going to be attending an activities fair where you get to enroll in different clubs. So you practically put down your name and your email ID, and they write back to you. And then you could either join the attend a GBM, or maybe even apply for an executive position if you're a sophomore or your second semester as a freshman. But apart from that, I feel like you have a lot of opportunities apart from just the activities fair. Like every now and then you'll receive an email from your favorite club, and they'll ask you if you want to just join the executive board, or if you just want to attend more events. And that way you have a lot of opportunity here on campus. And I think the activities fair is a huge it was a huge part of the reason why I joined so many clubs, because I just wrote down my email in a piece of paper, and then now, yeah, I'm a part of a lot of things here at Emory.
So I think it's actually like a weekend. So it's super early in, and it's really easy to get involved in whatever you want to get involved in. And I highly encourage when you get here to go ahead and sign up for different clubs you might be interested in and check out the meetings. But it's very easy to get involved from the get-go. The next question is, how do you become a tour guide?
Well, I think it was like towards the middle or the end of the first semester, they're going to have a lot of like different banners saying, hey, apply to be a tour guide. And so they send out, you just like click on it. You just copy down like the URL, and then it takes you to the application, and you just first fill out a few questions, and then based off of those questions, they are going to cut a few people off. And then if you proceed to the interview stage, you will have like a group interview where they'll like try to gauge like your public speaking skills, and then you'll have like an individual interview so that they can learn you as like about you as a person and what you can contribute to like the Emory narrative, because they do try to be as diverse as possible, so you get a good feel of like what Emory as a whole is like based off of the people who represent it.
The next question is, what's your favorite place to eat on or near campus? My favorite place on campus is Highland Bakery. So I live in Harris Hall, which currently has second-year students, and I am in the business school. So Highland Bakery is a really close option for me, and it's really I really enjoy it, and they have a lot of different options.
I'm personally a huge fan of the Duck.
So the Duck, wait, what is the Duck?
The Duck. It stands for Dobbs University Center. And I guess when you guys get here, it'll be the Duckling.
Yeah.
By the way, you all will have unlimited swipes to this amazing establishment. But the Duck is right by the first year quad. It's right. It's a really convenient location. It's a buffet style dining, and I think it's a great way to eat, healthily, and also switch up, what you eat. They have something, they usually have something different every time, and I think it's great food. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Another thing,
we're juniors and seniors, so
yeah,
we still love it.
Exactly.
Another thing that a lot of students really like is every Tuesday we have a farmers market from 11 to 3. So a lot of local vendors will come and sell their food. So like we have like Cuban food, and we also have donuts and coffee and like granola. And like my favorite stand is like a popcorn stand where they will like literally pop the popcorn in front of you, and it's like really fantastic. So that's another thing if you want to like freshen things up a bit.
Grace's question is there a place on campus to store supplies for freshmen the summer before they arrive? So you can go ahead and send your boxes or whatever you're sending to the Emory Package Center, and they'll wait for you there. The next question is, what is the art scene like on campus, and do they have large attendance? So I know David is involved in the art scene a little bit. Do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, I can definitely speak on that. So I'm a musician, and last year I started a club called Rock the Row that basically does a series of concerts throughout the year. But really, I think Emory students are very, ambitious, and there are a lot of student-run music events, arts events, and a lot of really talented artists here. And so last Tuesday there was an event called Couchella, not Coachella, but Couchella, where they had a bunch of student performers and a bunch of artwork. This Saturday there's an event called Symposium. It's a semesterly event where kind of a similar idea. They have performers, and it's a partnership between really the arts community and the Greek community. And so that's a very very, I think, unique event. And so you can definitely find art and artists here, and I think Emory does a pretty good job of supporting the arts. So.
Definitely. So I know I have a lot of friends who are on different dance groups, and I personally have no dancing skills whatsoever, but I went to a performance by Ahana, which is a collaboration of a lot of different groups, last Friday, and every single seat was full in the audience. So we're, I would say, extremely supportive of those in the arts, even if we don't partake in them ourselves. So the next question is, how easy was it to make friends from such diverse backgrounds? Can we talk about like orientation maybe?
Yeah. So since I was an international student, the first few days for me was international student orientation. And that was an amazing opportunity to meet people from the same country or from all around the world. And I honestly met some of my best friends during that time. But apart from that, I feel like the dorms here at Emory give you a very good give you a good chance to meet a lot of people, and you become closest to them. For instance, I live in a dorm called Longstreet Means, and it's for global culture, so that's their theme. So we have a lot of events in our hall, so you kind of meet everybody. By the end of 1 year, you're going to meet everybody in your dorm at some point. And apart from that, I think the community here is really friendly. Like, you walk across people and they're going to smile at you, and the next time you see them, you're going to ask them what their name is, and that's how you build a friendship through time. So yeah, it wasn't a huge problem for me making friends as a freshman and as an international student. So.
There are also other even like programs before you come to school. So you have SOAR, which is an outdoor experience. You get to choose like what you want to do. So I think this year some people went like camping, others went kayaking. So that's one way. Like I have a few friends who participated in that, and they have like really good friends because of that. There's also, I participated in pre-orientation in a pre-STEM pathways, which was focused on underrepresented groups in STEM. So I came here like a few days early, even like a little bit before the international students. And so it was like we were trying to build communities of like first generation students or just like very underrepresented students in general who wanted to become STEM. So you kind of build your community, you kind of learn tips on how to like better acclimate yourself into college and STEM if you haven't been in those environments before. And that's another way you can meet friends.
Are most of your friends from your classes or from outside of your classes?
I would say it's a combination of both. Some of my friends, I became friends because I chose certain classes. But apart from that, a lot of people on my floor are some of my closest friends. And I would say it's a good combination of both. It's not particularly that only people who you're in classes with you're going to be friends with them. So yeah, I think that's a very good thing that Emory has. Like, you have a lot of programs where you get a chance to meet other people who you would have never even like had a class with, and you just become friends. It's a really friendly community. So
yeah, for me, it was actually, I didn't make friends through classes. I actually don't really have many friends in class, which I should really fix. But the way that I met mine, so Emory has a few safe spaces. For example, we have Centro Latino, and we have the EBSU, which stands for the Emory Black Student Union, as well as the Center for Women. And we are trying to expand within like the next few years. So I started making friends with everyone at Centro Latino. And because of that, I actually like, most of my friends are older than me. They're usually like all sophomores or juniors and seniors. So that's how I met my friends. So there are definitely like a lot of opportunities to meet people.
So I'm going to combine two of the questions I see here. One is, how does work-study work? And the other is, what are options available for on-campus employment for underclassmen? So work-study, if you are granted that opportunity, what will happen is you will find an on-campus job that works best for you. So you could be working at the telefund, or you could be working at admissions, for example. So you find whatever interests you, and you can do work study through that. And if you are not doing work study, but you still want an on-campus job, that is still very much a possibility. There are so many different opportunities for employment here. I know, for example, I work in admissions, but I'm also a teaching assistant for a few classes, and I'm also a resident advisor. So you can definitely find whatever suits your interests, as well as fits with whatever sort of financial aid or work study package that you have. So the next question is, what has been your largest class and your smallest, and what is the average class size at Emory?
The median class size of Emory is 18 students. 80% of the classes are below 30 students. So the other 20% are usually like the really big intro classes. My biggest intro class was Intro to Computer Science. There were about like 60 people in there, but it narrows down once, because like a lot of intro classes are there just as a prerequisite, even for like other majors that aren't in that department. And so that's been my biggest one. And usually the smallest ones are probably freshman seminars, which are a requirement that you have to take as a first year. So those are just kind of like, those are cut off at 15 students, although a lot of them don't even reach to 15. Mine was like 11 or 12 people. So you have like that environment where you get really close to your professor. So yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah, I would say that it definitely depends on what your major is. Some majors tend to have larger class size, or what level your class is. But if you are in a larger introductory class, for example, like Economics 100, something like that, there are teaching assistants who you can meet with. Your professor will always have office hours. You can go in and talk to them and get some extra help if you need it. And a lot of times they'll have breakout groups and you can go to those as well. There are also our free tutoring services such as ePass tutoring. So even if you are in a larger class, which I personally didn't mind at all, I actually kind of liked it, you have so many resources to have that one-on-one attention if you want that. Okay, so the next question is, what are some opportunities for pre-law students to get internships or things like that? Is anyone pre-law?
No.
I am.
You are? Okay.
So first you have to register yourself as pre-law, and they actually send out like a lot of emails. I think just this past week I've gotten like 5 emails specifically because like this is kind of like the prime time for a lot of pre-law students to like start thinking about applications if they are in that year. So for one thing that, well, okay, first, pre-law has its own office in the B. Jones Center, which also houses like financial aid and like pre-health offices. And so those types of offices are there. Like they have like a full staff dedicated to give you like the best internships possible and to make your resume the best for law school. So they're really trying to kind of like capitalize and maximize like your potential and your appeal to law schools. So they also have a lot of networking events. I've been to one where they brought a panel of a lot of Emory law school alumni and just Emory like alum in general, where they talked about like internships and opportunities with them. So they're definitely like, all you have to do is send an email and you'll get like hooked up basically.
The next question is, how is food on a scale of 1 to 10? Honesty, please. 9. I think it's really good. And I'm a junior, so I've been eating on campus for 3 years, and I am not tired of the food at all. I mean, I really enjoy it, especially from what I hear from my friends who go to other universities. Emory's food is pretty fantastic. What do you guys think?
Well, I love soups. And so what David mentioned earlier, like with the Duck, which is our main dining facility, like every day they will have a selection of 3 soups and it like changes daily. So like for one meal, I'll just get like 3 bowls of soup and I'm good for the entire day. So I really like the soups here too.
Okay, so the next question is, what events are held during Julie's Week / what is Julie's Week like? So we're in Julie's Week. If you don't know right now, it's our like spring kind of spirit week, I would say. So do you guys want to talk about some of the events that have happened so far this week?
So I think it was day before we had Taste of Emory, and there was a huge line because it was free food, and I would say there were about 15 stalls there, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, it was restaurants around Emory. So you have 2 major restaurant joints at Emory, the Emory Point and Emory Village. So we had a lot of restaurants come in, and it was practically just free food. You go grab yourself whatever you want, stand in long lines, and yeah, it was fun. So
they also bring a comedian to campus every Julie's Week. So that's going on tomorrow, and it's just like a lot of fun little activities going on every single day.
Yeah, and a lot of great concerts. Over the past couple years, I've seen Passion Pit, Chance the Rapper, J. Cole, the Chainsmokers, yes. The Chainsmokers. And I think Julie's Week is one of the best weeks at Emory because you just have a lot of school spirit and a lot of really cool activities and a lot of free food and free t-shirts,
Oh yeah, also a really cool thing that may be like unique to Emory is our second mascot, Dooley, actually goes around and so what happens is that you submit kind of, what is it, like a limerick?
A limerick.
Yeah, you submit one to like the Dooley, like Lord Dooley Facebook page, and you kind of give her a reason why she should come into your class and dismiss you, and like your professor should prove it before. But if Dooley walks in and like she'll ask your professor like 3 really, really obscure questions, and we mean obscure, it's like how many bricks are in all of like the Emory buildings combined? Like no one's gonna know the answer to that. So if your professor gets it wrong, then you're all dismissed from class. So that's another really fun thing that happens during Julie's Week.
Next question is, do you have any fun Songfest memories?
I definitely do. So it was at first week into school and everyone's nervous, no one talks to each other, but then we have Song Fest. So you make a lot of friends, and believe me, a lot of people are shy to dance and stuff like that, but you're gonna look back at it and be so grateful you did it. You might make a fool out of yourself, but I would recommend everybody to do it. And I love my hall. That's, you have the spirit of your hall. That's like one day where you're just gonna tell people you're from whatever hall you are and be proud of it. And yeah, you're gonna make a lot of friends through the process of learning for Songfest. So I recommend everybody do it. Like, no matter how bad you're at dancing, just do it.
Yeah, it gets really competitive. And what's like also like my favorite part, it's like really funny. So you start like during your songs, you kind of like, you're supposed to like really embrace your residence hall and kind of like trash other residence halls. So like there's one residence hall that's like a little bit far away. It's not even that far away. It's like closer to the academic building, so it's like actually the best option. But they'll just like, they like, everyone makes fun of them because they're like really far away. So when like you're not allowed to boo while someone else is like singing about you, so they'll just make their hall sign, and it's really hilarious because you'll look out into the crowd and like 300 people are all like complexes like this, and they're literally all like in solidarity, like all doing their hall sign. So I thought that was like really hilarious. That was my best Songfest memory.
It's a pretty amazing event. I mean, there isn't really anything like it. You know, getting there with the whole first year class, and you all get to the gym, and everyone's, you know, chanting their their chants and screaming and yelling, and you know, everyone's losing their voice, and it's, even if you don't win, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed my Songfest experience.
So the next question is, what first year seminar did you take?
Mine was actually really interesting. And part of the reason why, like, I am still taking sociology classes. So mine was a sociology and linguistics one, and I helped a professor who was doing his own research about lynchings in Georgia, specifically during like a time span. And so it was actually really cool because I am from Georgia, and he had like this whole database of individuals who were lynched, and a few of them came from my county. So it was like really sobering, and it was fantastic. Like, I got to learn like more rhetoric into like how people justified lynching during that time. Like, we looked at newspapers and primary articles, and it was really amazing.
I took one called Lying with Charts, Maps, and Graphs. So it was basically talking about how statistics are sometimes misleading, and I thought it was really interesting. What about you guys?
I took a psychology one, which was Nature of Evidence. And I felt like it was something different from what my friends took as their freshman seminar, because this was completely just other professors coming and talking to you about what they research in. And some of them actually gave a lot of opportunities to psychology majors to help them in their research and maybe work in their labs. And I thought it was really interesting to see different aspects of what just psychology has to offer and what Emory has to offer, because a lot of people had a lot of ideas that they were researching on. And it's the opportunities that, I mean, a lot of my friends from the seminar class are now working in some of the professors' labs. And I think that's amazing. It gives you a really good hands-on experience for what you want to do in the future. So,
is there a strong support system for first-generation students at Emory?
So as I mentioned in the beginning, I am on the executive board of the First Generation Low Income Partnership here. So there are kind of two branches for First Generation Low Income Partnership. We lovingly call it FLIP, since we love acronyms here at Emory. So FLIP kind of has two main goals. So we have a community building branch where we'll try to make a lot of programming so that you can find students who recognize like the struggles, who like know what it's like to just, you know, like having to pay your own tuition. And like, I have a few friends who even have to like not even pay for their own tuition, but also have to pay for the bills of their own family. So it's really like fantastic, like understanding people. But also we have the advocacy side, which is the part that I'm part of with Flip Exec, and we try to build resources for students. So for example, we now have a lending library. So if you can't afford books, you can check out a book for a whole semester at no cost to you. And we also like take donations so that they're very recent books from students who like gently use them. And we also have We're trying to have, we have an open pantry, which is, we partnered with like a coffee house close by. So if you ever run short of food, you can just walk over there. And there are like different meal swipes. If you can't run out of food, you can get meal tickets from the Office of Student Success. And if you like can't afford professional clothing, you can go to the Career Center and you can rent out like a dress or a blouse or like a suit and a tux and stuff like that.
Next question is, what if I want to major in biomedical engineering? Is the 3-2 track popular?
It's not particularly popular, but I do know a lot of students who do it. Yeah, but we also have our own, like, we're starting our own, like, little engineering type of, we have, like, 3 concentrations right now, and I think we're trying to expand. But, yeah, it's not, like, insanely popular, but I do know people who do it, and at the end of 5 years, you get 2 degrees, so that's still a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, it's a great program. I have some friends who are at Tech now who, we're at Emory. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you get 2 degrees and you, get a chance to go to 2 amazing institutions.
The next question is, what are the religious opportunities like on campus? So I know Shruti touched on it a little bit with HSA,
Right.
but I would say that there is an organization for any religious belief that you might hold or lack thereof. And if there is something that you want to start regarding like a religious group, you definitely have the freedom and support to do that. The next question is, what has been your favorite memory at Emory so far? Spelled M-E-M-O-R-Y.
That's funny.
Actually say my favorite memory was doing Songfest as an orientation leader. So something we haven't talked too much about is the orientation process that you'll go through as an incoming first-year student. It's a really great way to get connected with upperclassmen and to find out about everything that Emory has to offer you. And so then you'll do Songfest, but your orientation leader will also do Songfest. And it's just such a great environment. It's super fun. That's definitely one of my fondest memories.
My favorite Emory memory would be celebrating my 18th birthday. So, I mean, it was 2 weeks into school, and I still remember my RA baked a cake for me, and I had everybody in my hall come at 12 o'clock in the night and sing for me. And that really made me really happy. Like, I didn't really miss home because I knew that I had family here too, someone who really cared. And yeah, it just gives you a sense of belonging when you know that people actually care about you. So that's my favorite memory.
What about you, David? You're a senior.
Oh, me! Wow, I have a lot of good memories. One of my favorite memories though is my first year. I took a lot of music classes, and we would have these big assignments for like music theory, and all of us in the different sections of the class. We would all get together in my dorm. I lived in Terman Hall, and we would all bring snacks, and we would stay up and just work on you do the assignments together. And it's funny when you get a lot of music majors together, it ends up being a really unproductive time, but it was very enjoyable, and like most of us were still really good friends today. I'm gonna probably go bowling with my friend Jerry right after this. We met in that class, and so staying up late doing work with friends, great memory.
So there are 2 more questions. We'll take them, and then we won't have any time for more questions, but you can always feel free to ask them on the Facebook page, and we will definitely have a current student answer them. One question is, do you have any advice for the socially anxious or introverted? I would say I identified as an introvert going into college, and I think that being around so many people actually turned me into an extrovert, which I never thought would have happened. But I was definitely very shy coming into Emory, but I found that getting to know your sophomore advisor and your resident advisor and your orientation leader is a really good idea, because they can help answer all of your questions. They're really great resources and great people to talk to. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Next question is Oxford versus Emory if you got into both schools. So I'll take this one. There are definitely so many advantages to both Oxford and Emory. It's a very personal choice. I would say choose Oxford if you want more of a close-knit environment and you really want to get to know everyone. It's definitely a smaller school, but I have so many friends who went there and they absolutely loved their experience. And maybe choose Emory if you want to get to know a larger group of people. But either way, no matter what you choose, you'll end up on Emory's campus for the remainder of your last 2 years at Emory. So you really can't go wrong, but it just has to be whatever you think will fit best with your preferences. So the last question that I have for everyone is, why did you choose to come to Emory?
Well, I guess I'll start and just go down the line. Also, because mine is like very anticlimactic. So all throughout high school, I grew up 40 minutes away from here, and I grew up like growing up in Georgia. I was like, I need to leave. I need to get as far away as possible. Like Washington State was too close. So obviously you can tell how well that worked out since I am 40 minutes away from my house at Emory. But I actually only came, like the first time I visited Emory was during my admitted student tour, and I only came here kind of to appease my parents because they wanted the whole like typical like movie scene where the parents are crying and then like the daughter is like, oh, this is where I'm gonna go to school. But I was actually like during the tour, I had like spaced out and I had like really put myself in the shoes of an Emory student. And I was like, Emory also gave me like the most financial aid. So it was just like, why would I sacrifice like a fantastic education and a lot of like financial support just to be like really far away from my family? And that's why I'm here. It's fantastic. Like each day that I'm here, I'm just like, I appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, for me, a big thing was I wanted to, I guess, likewise, get away and experience, a new city. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I guess I was able to get away.
Yeah, it worked.
And Atlanta has a lot of opportunity. I'm very interested in music and the music industry. Atlanta definitely has a lot of that to offer. And also Emory just seemed like a great fit. They, like Alexa said, the financial aid office is very supportive, and that definitely worked out for me. And I when I applied, I had not seen Emory. I saw it for the first time during admitted students day. I definitely recommend you come and check it out if you can. But that I think really solidified my decision on this is like where I want to spend the next 4 years.
So for me, it was, I would say, the small class size, because back home, I went to an international school with just 20 people in a class, and I really wanted to continue the same. And I think Emory was one of the best colleges that gave me both a combination of having a small size and also an amazing education. So that's why I chose Emory. But apart from that, as an international student, I felt like it was very important to look at the cultural aspect, so like the diversity, and Emory is really culturally diverse, and yes, I love it.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will post the link to this session on the Facebook groups. But thank you guys again, and we hope that you come to Emory, and we'll see you next fall.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya. Come to Emory.